Okay, Stevie and Vigil, how are you guys doing this evening or this day?
Very good evening to everybody this evening. Hello, VJ. Hello, Namdi. I've not seen VJ since he got back from America. Seen you last week.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Wow.
How are you? How are you all?
Yes.
Missing
Yes.
New York. Missing New York. Want to get back out there.
New York was fun. New York was a lot of fun. Yeah, and and Namdi, I don't know if you've seen. You may have seen. I've officially ruined Stevie's life. I've got him collecting cassettes now, as if he wasn't enough already. There you go. See, he's
He's
already
already
begun the
back.
map.
Oh goodness. Hey Colin, 312 312. What's up? What's up? It's always good to see our community when they join in. So guys, as you're watching, just drop us at Mac, old school flavor. We haven't seen you in a while.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Welcome guys as you come in. As we just started, for those who just joined us, VJ and Stevie went to the Rock the Bells Festival in New Jersey, and especially the Uptown Untouchables reunion set. And did you guys stay for the whole production, the whole set, the Rock the Bells, and then the Uptowns?
Yep. We did indeed.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't leave my seat. I went once the show had started. Uh, I need to manage how much I'm drinking with these things. So I had my how much liquid I'm having. So my water intake was minimal. So I didn't need to move for the whole show. Couldn't miss it. There was just so much going on. It was just crazy. Um, Stevie, what was
Yeah.
your highlight of the show? What did you enjoy the most?
I'll be honest. That hip hop run of Rakim. Well, Big Daddy Kane first, followed by Rakim and Grandmaster Flash and DJ Premier. Then I think it was KRS-One,
Yep.
and then
Okay.
after it, LL Cool J came on. Was in
Outrageous.
heaven, mate.
That was, you couldn't make that up.
Speechless, absolutely speechless after what I could see. Just
Yeah.
incredible.
But we'll get a chance. I think when when Andrew joins in, we'll get a chance to dissect and talk a little bit more about that. I know we've gotten a lot of different people who all female battle rap content. We've got Dream Writer Inc. We've got Timmy Lee. Welcome. We've got Nikki G. Big Money Heck, everyone, melodic. So everyone is coming in. So there's a lot of people who are joining us, um, especially for this album. Colin says, "VJ, you in Birmingham for a wedding? He didn't say hello."
Right. He's 100% right. My wife is from Birmingham, so I end up
Okay.
there. So yeah, I was definitely in your hometown. Always good to be
Okay, he said Colin's going to see Tony Braxton, Drew Hill, and Boyz II Men in December when they get to Birmingham. Okay, so um, 92, was that the end of New Jack Swing in 1992, or did they extend to 93?
We
What
didn't
what
we
what is
didn't
this?
realize it was in 1992. We didn't think it was I didn't think it was the end. But
No,
looking back, I mean, we got an extra year, didn't we, in 93? And after 93, it was very slowly tailed out. I mean, it's funny because the UK kind of adopted swing beat from like 93 onwards. So we got an extended period
Okay,
of UK
okay.
R&B making
Cruz,
swing sounds. Yeah.
people like Cruz and Mark Morrison and other artists, they were trying to tap into that kind of sound.
Yes.
Okay.
From
So that
95, 96.
okay. So that girl group good to go.
Yeah,
Oh,
good to
yeah.
go. Never satisfied. Very nice.
Love
Okay.
Nice
that.
chair. That was a nice chair. Namdi the other
Okay.
day.
Yeah, because
Uh,
I saw it and I'm thinking I've never heard of them, and I just thought you guys would have known about them. And Stevie says Stanley Brown did the production on that, so definitely. But then
yeah.
because I'm asked about '92 because this is when this album came out, and I would say it was a difficult album to rank because a lot of us would have heard the main tracks. You know, I'm So Into You, Right Here, Human Nature, Weak, and Downtown. Those were, and Always on My Mind. So these were the songs that they released, and I think even when SWV performed today, those are the 5 tracks that they generally sing. But when you listen to the album, there's actually a lot of hidden gems. Like, wow, this is a really good song. If you just say, okay, those 5, yeah, that was nice. But if you listen through, and I was surprised how many New Jack tracks were on this album, because I used to just think SWV were an R&B group, just mainly R&B. But I was like, they have a lot of swing and New Jack on this particular album. What are your thoughts?
It's a stunning album. I mean, that, like, the response I've had from people that have compiled the list for this particular podcast. One person said that it's difficult to pick the list from this because it depends on their mood, because the album is so perfect, and this is the hardest list they've ever had to compile.
Yeah,
because it's a flawless album. There's not a bad track on here. There's none. So this is one of those horrible ones to rank. Sorry,
yeah.
Namdi, we've done it again. You found the perfect album, and we have to leave.
Hey, Derek from Minneapolis, welcome. Joe Womack, good to see you. So Gravestoke, welcome. Hopefully, welcome. Stevie, I mean, what was it for you? Did you know?
I was quite prepared to rank this album without the Human Nature radio mix on, but you guys added it on, so it gives it's a whole different meaning with that mix on. But I've said this on the previous podcast. I got to see them live when they came over to Manchester back then, and it was pure New Jack, their gig. When they came on after intro, it was just like really fast paced, a lot of dancing, a lot of New Jack dancing, the clothes. So I thought they were a New Jack female group, even though they had a lot of ballads. They had a lot of there's a lot of up tempos on this album. So I kind of treat, they followed on from Jade and all them others and En Vogue. So I kind of treated it like that, really. But yeah, great memories of this album. It's just a great time to, like I say, be out in the record shops buying this stuff, back in the the clubs, going out and going in the clubs, hearing the remixes. Shameless plug for my New Jack Swing in Search of episode 2 is on my YouTube channel right now. It uploaded this afternoon. Go to my YouTube at Stevie Street _ and watch my new video. That's my famous plug out of the way. Yeah. And anyone who's watched episode 1, thank you last week. Really appreciate it. But anyway, yeah, this album, like I say, you can't really. It's packed with singles. It is.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about this album was when they came out, we knew the term New Jack Swing, but I'd never heard the term New Jill Swing before SWV came about. And I think New Jill Swing was created because of SWV, and I think they were the counterpart to Guy. That's how I saw them. I saw them as the female version to Guy. That's how I saw them. And
there was what was that video channel that was being kept? Was it, I don't know, was it MTV? But there was a guy presenting it back then who used to play all the videos, and he used the term New Jill Swing. I forgot his name, the presenter's name. But he did use that term. It wasn't Norm Skip, somebody else. It was somebody else. It's a British guy, black British guy, but he did coin it New Jill Swing.
Okay, because I always used to think that the girls were, or even the good girls. I thought the good girls were as close as New Jill Swing, then, because they could dance and they had the whole package.
Yeah, I agree, but like with the girls, they were Guy. They were an Uptown, and they were the female version of Guy. They had Albie Shaw and DJ Eddie F and Teddy doing the production on there.
West,
it was a brilliant New Jill Swing project. But I think for an entire project and to be as prominent as SWV have later became, they were the biggest band of all of them, and even including the Good Girls, who had some incredible New Jack Swing tracks. So much.
Yeah, but I think what helped SWV And what Brian Alexander Morgan would always say is that their songs,
Hmm.
when you have a song like Weak, so like I'm so into you comes out, it's like, okay, not too bad. You get the I think then you get Right Here, then you get the Teddy remix, and all of a sudden you're number 2 on the Billboard charts, and people take a different interest in you. And Downtown, you had all those singles, and then they did the Above the Rim album. They did the remix, so they at the early stage, they were definitely in the forefront of people's minds. And as I said, they didn't have the dance moves like the Good Girls, and they had more than one big hit compared to, say, Jade's Don't Walk Away. And I think they had the consistency.
You
But I
had
would
two lead vocals as well there, and Lily and Coco. Both exceptionally strong vocalists. Why didn't is it Lily? Why didn't she go solo? I know Coco did, but I always wondered why Lily didn't go solo.
So, I think the first. So, of all the interviews, I interviewed Brian Alexander Morgan first, and then I interviewed Lily second. And I said to Brian, "Look, I've never been. One of the things especially when you look at intro and look at what happened to Kenny Green, and how that affected the rest of the group. I was never a fan of just the one lead singer and everyone else, because it then puts that person in the spotlight, and if they decide to sneeze, everyone catches the code. Drew Hill mixed it up a little bit. Boys to Men are perfect in how all of them fit in. And he was saying, yes, but Coco, even Lily admitted Coco was the voice. But they would have loved to have shined and had their own input in there. But Brian just wanted to focus on, okay, you got the voice, you sing it this way, and everyone else can have their backing vocals. And to ask about why Lily didn't go solo, because all the labels saw Coco as the lead, the voice of SWV. So you normally, when the group doesn't sell much, you just take the voice away. So that's why Cisco was the only one that kind of went solo after the breakup. And so that was a big issue. So I think the producers, it's a lazy tactic. Let's just have this voice and let's focus on it. I think it takes a lot to say, and it's not on Brian, because he did most of the tracks, but other people could have shared it around, could have done so. And I think that's what Teddy learned after Guy. He didn't want it to be just the Aaron Hall show, so let's get others vocalists to be able to share the load. And I think you need that. Unfortunately, SWV, see Total, you know, you had Pam and you had Keisha both sharing songs and lead vocals with and as well. So I think that's stuff that's I think groups had to pick and learn from. But it doesn't take away from Coco. But it's easy to just say, just to hone in on Coco and not appreciate the others. Yeah. Okay. So Tommy just sorry, Timmy Lee just mentioned about Tony Thompson. Great singer, but if he had shared the load a little bit more, I think they had it with Holding On. What's that song? I keep holding on. Love. Is that the one that
Zebrahead.
Torino? No. High Five, and the
Oh,
song that I keep holding on, letting go. Uh,
keep it going.
no, so
It's one of them bland. It's the way he's singing it. It's one of those bland
it's
songs.
I forgot
Just
a code.
another
So
minute.
just
Yeah,
is
it
it
might be
just a
that
minute?
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one that Tony sings, the main one, but you have somebody else, I think Torino, singing a little ad lib through it. It could be. Yeah. So I'm just saying that was the only time Tony shared the spotlight on a song other than himself. And I think it would have been great if one of the singles that was a hit from SWV didn't have just Coco leading it, that maybe others sang the bridge, Lily singing the bridge, or Todd singing the second verse or so.
And Namdi, I agree with
Can't
everything.
wait
you
another
said.
minute. Yeah, Derek, thanks. Can't wait another minute.
Can't wait.
So that was the song I was trying to sing.
That's the one. And I agree with everything you said, apart from the Aaron Hall bit, because I think Aaron Hall was an anomaly. I think, as far as the New Jack Swing voices were concerned, I think he was a law unto himself. I think if Aaron Hall had the right guidance and honed his career in a in the right way, I think he would have been unstoppable. Unstoppable. Aaron Hall was a different planet. And as incredible as Coco is, I think Aaron Hall was a vocal beast. That 88 to 92 period, Aaron Hall's voice was, and even when he came out with The Truth, the vocals were solid on that. I just I felt he was let down by the overall project. I think he
when
could
he
have.
did it with solo. Yeah,
Yeah.
but even Lily mentioned it. Look, when they came out, it was the era of the strong church lead singer. So Aaron Hall was one. Everyone saw what was happening there. You had Casey and JoJo, both, so that became the model of late labels. They don't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So let's just go with that until it needs to change up. So that's what happened with SWV. I think it happened the same with Jade. It was like, you're the main singer. I think Brownstone managed to, but they were the second wave. So by the time the second wave came with Total, even with Cut Close, I think they switched. They had two singers, and I think Blackstreet were another example of, okay, let's others sing in the hits, sing the songs. But yes, so go ahead, VJ. Just before we...
One last question. What group, if any, from that era female group was better than SWV? I can only think of one that.
Everyone would say TLC.
That's it.
TLC.
I don't think
Hold up. Whoa. Vocally, En Vogue.
I'm talking about success and impact on the industry. They changed everything. SWV changed everything.
En Vogue were massive. They were massive pop.
I would say
pop R&B group.
Yeah. But that was 2 years before. I'm just saying.
Don't get me wrong. I listen to SWV and TLC more than what I do En Vogue, but En Vogue crossed over big time. Probably bigger than SWV.
But in '92, were you listening to En Vogue? And by the time Funky Divas came out, were you listening to En Vogue, or were you listening to
My Loving was big. That was a big record.
Fantastic. I love that song.
Big
that
record.
Made it on almost every single tape for a whole year. I love that song that much. But I'm just saying,
I think it's one of those scenarios where you had Mary J. Blige and you had, say, Tony Braxton, two different singers, two different audiences. And I think when the Funky Divas came out, they, especially when they started with Free Your Mind, they really started to cross over and went pop. I think they came back when they did What a Man with Salt and Pepper, and and then when they did Don't Let Go, it was almost like, oh, okay, we remember them. I think SWV were very much, the Jodeci of the Boyz II Men. They were, they were from New York. They dressed, they sounded, they acted like, people that you could be relatable to. And but we have to always put a caveat to this. SWV have the Bobby Brown effect. The Bobby Brown effect is, when if they hadn't did their comeback, we might not be, we would not have endured them the same way that we are now. So they broke up, they did their documentary, and they've come back together, and they're doing tours, and actually people are celebrating them like, oh my goodness, we can't believe you guys left. And it's like Bobby, when he did the Bobby album, he can't do any wrong. He came out with the Forever album, which people didn't like. He was all over the place. But now Bobby Brown is like a national treasure. And I believe SWV, their makeup and breakup, they came back, and today they're being celebrated as a national treasure. So we're reviewing this album from where they are now and remembering them the same way. We're not going to celebrate Jade the same way. Neither do we celebrate in vogue the same way. I don't know.
Marco Crawford always drops a legendary diversive comment, doesn't he? TLC couldn't sing. Only Coco from SWV could sing. What? Only? No, come on. Lily could sing, Marco. Lily could sing. This is the comments, by the way. If you can't see the comments, this is what we're all referring to. But yeah,
every
Marco,
comment that comes
comments
through.
coming in. They're very divert, but we like them. We like them.
Music Tips mentioned Escape as well. I think Escape were another group that were great. I mean, Jermaine Dupri,
definitely one of the best looking female groups of the 90s.
Okay. And Michael Ray said
great voices.
I think what has happened with SWV, and Michael I can attest to that, is that they got. I have to be very careful with this. I think as they've matured, they've changed management who have looked to put them in an environment that taps into a more to get different opportunities. Because the old manager Corey was amazing, especially when he got them on their shows and stuff. But their new manager is getting them big gigs and stuff like that. But yeah, Lily can sing, Taj can sing. The one thing that when we ever do the New Beginnings album, we can talk about the friction between the fact that Brian Alexander Morgan, as the songwriter, made the songwriters money. And, like every artist who gets signed, they don't teach them the business. And so SWV were wondering, after the album goes 4 times platinum, how come they weren't getting any money? And Brian was getting $1 million checks without understanding the business, the fact that as a songwriter and as publishing, he gets that. And so they thought, okay, well, when we do New Beginnings, we need to write and partake in that. But it didn't work like that.
There's an interesting comment from Richard Ashcroft there. Fantastic album. Remember, the album appeared on US import, very low key at first, and just kept building as each single was released. It's true.
Yeah.
When the first mixes of Right Here came out, they didn't exactly blow up. It took a bit of time. The singles really pushed that album, the remixes.
Yeah. No.
If it wasn't for that Human Nature remix, I don't think it would have blown up the way it did either, because I had to reissue the album and add that as a bonus track on there, which is the conversation you were having at the beginning, Stevie, when Namdi said we're having this version of the album, and then the original version was what it was. So it makes sense that we use the version with Right Here on it, because that's why they became who they did, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to. There's times when it's somewhat good to be able to put down the for people to see the comments, because we love the comments as they come through. But I just thought it'd be great that you guys could see the comments as they come through. Marco says that
that's good.
All Star messed up SWV. Their sound changed when they did anything, and they went in that direction. I must admit, I wasn't crazy for New Beginning, because it sounded a lot different than I expected, but we'll get into that at a different time. So we've got 15 tracks on the It's About Time album, albeit one of them is weak a cappella, and then the last track on the album was New Edition, was the Human Nature remix. And I think I had a different appreciation for that track as a production, because for a long time I'm like, it's a remix, and I listened to it continuously, and I realized actually it wasn't that somebody just put the micro sample and just changed the drum beats. They went to Future Studios, re-recorded their vocals, and it's a new track. It's the same lyrics, but it wasn't taking the stems and just adding around it. They re-recorded it, and it's actually a really, and I have to give credit to Teddy for producing that track as opposed to remixing it. Because generally, if you think about a remix is Don't Want to Fall in Love. You take it and you build around it. But this was a complete production, because it was a complete song that they re-sang and it was produced differently. So I definitely have to give props to Teddy, but we'll see where it lands on our top 10. Um, so, guys, we're going to start with our top 10, and I'm going to start off with from 10, VJ, then Stevie. And as you know, you guys, it'd be great if you put down your what makes number 10 on the album, and then we get to number 1, and then we can talk about what's 15 and the rest. So what got into my top 10? Now, one of the things I did when I rated this album is I didn't want to see the producers because I didn't want to just be biased around the producers. I wanted to listen to the songs and actually just appreciate the songs. And then it's only right now that I'm actually seeing who produced each of these songs. So what made number 10 for me was a New Jack track. Now, I don't know who Parker is, but we have Jeff Red on co-writing, and I'm sure he influenced this. And this was a proper New Jack track. Give it to me.
Give it to me.
Yeah, give it
number 10.
me.
You've got that number 10. What?
There are 15 tracks in there.
What?
Give it to me, baby. Yeah. Give it. Yeah. So at number 10, Black Pudding. Goodness, you guys. So at number 10 is Give It to Me. Yes. So we got Colin and M Mac put in Black Pudding, and I was in America. I moved to America in '92, and I never forget watching Video Soul, and Donnie Simpson had SWV on, and I can remember the episode as if it was yesterday. And when we get to downtown, I had no idea what that song was. I just thought it was about going downtown or Los Angeles.
Stop it, Namdi. Stop
I
it.
am
Stop
not
it,
lying.
please.
I am 100%. I had no idea what the song was about.
Damn,
and so Lily says that Tarji's favorite song was Black Pudding. And I didn't even think about, I mean, I've listened to the track now. I'm like, goodness gracious. So anyway, VJ, what's your number 10?
So I say this every time, but there's no bad songs on this album. So my apologies if my placement is somehow not the same as yours. You do you. Whoever's got any crap to say to me for my list here, you do you. I'm going to do me. So with that said, my number 10 is a Brian Alexander Morgan track. I didn't like the remix. It's the one with the Wu-Tang Clan, the remix. My number 10 is Anything. So I wasn't a fan of that remix at the time. I know it was the one that changed everything. You had SWV and the entire Wu-Tang Clan on the track. But listening to this LP version again, I think it's fantastic. It is such a solid track. And it's been sampled in 10 songs. So my number 10, Brian Alexander Morgan production, a nice down tempo. Actually, it's a stunning down tempo, and that's Anything.
Yeah.
That's my number
10. For those who don't know, Brian Alexander Morgan says that R. Kelly copied Anything for Aaliyah's Back and Forth. That if you listen to it, he explained the key changes and all that stuff. But he says that Anything, the original version, R. Kelly copied elements of that and used it in Back and Forth. But yes, Hopeful is right. Coco did not know what the song meant. Well, as she said, but yeah. Okay, Anything. Stevie, what's number 10 for you?
The story that Coco and Lily, I've not told you, didn't tell you in the interviews, is about a town near me. It's called Bury, and they've got a world famous market there. And one of the reason why a lot of people flock to this market every Wednesday, Friday, and a Saturday, because they sell this food item called black pudding. It's very famous in Bury. Get black, they're like little circles, black circles, and it's made out of pig's blood. It sounds terrible, but it's really tasty, these black puddings. And they didn't tell you that back in the early 90s, SWV went to Bury Market, tasted these Black Puddings for the first time ever, and they made a track called Black Pudding. I mean, I'm talking absolute nonsense. But anyway, my number 10 is not Black Pudding, by the way. It's not Black Pudding.
Not even Black Pudding. What a build-up, man! It's not even Black. Nancy's
it's
not even Black Pudding, man.
It's a track that's got an amazing chorus, but I also feel production-wise, it's possibly the laziest track on the album because it samples High Five, the Kissing Game.
Oh yeah, you did.
And I think I'm listening to the chorus. I'm blown away by the chorus. But why did they put that? Because they speeded it up a bit as well, and I'm not sure if it works. But I just love the song anyway. I like the vibe, but I'm not. They could have put something else, some other drum, whatever. But Coming Home is number 10 for me. So there you go. That's my start, number 10.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice choice.
No, it was Kissing Game, right? Yeah. I wrote it down. Same drum beats of Kissing Game.
Yeah, I just thought it's a bit lazy. They just kind of threw it in, didn't they? They didn't know what to do. What should we do? And just probably threw that in. And but I love the chorus. It really sticks with me. Really sticks with me, that track.
Yeah. That will.
Who's the producer? Michael Brown. Who is that?
Home to you.
Yeah. I'm not sure who it is. My favorite. Okay, Eric.
I don't know who Michael Brown is. I don't know.
No, I looked at. It was a nice song. Yes. Okay. Number 9 for me is who did this track? I'm okay. This is strange. It was Brian Alexander Morgan and co-written by Coco, and so at the beginning of when I started interviewing Brian Alexander Morgan, he talks about his being a fan of Teddy and New Jack Swing. But then then when we talk about the album, he says he wanted to sort of move away and do his own stuff. And the only song that on the album that had any elements of New Jack Swing was Right Here. However, when you listen to a number of the tracks, and my number 9, Think I'm Gonna Love It, Think I'm Gonna Like It, it was it was very the whole dun, 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 the whole New Jack and everything. And so that's my number 9. And that's just when I said, wow, goodness, I didn't realize that SWV were a New Jack group, because as I said, the hits stood out and there were R&B tracks, apart from the remixes. So Think I'm Gonna Like It, a nice New Jack track, and showing Brian Alexander Morgan, showing that he actually still had his New Jack Swing hat on when he did that production.
So you've picked the 2 main New Jack sounding tracks at 10 and 9. Interesting, very interesting.
10 and 9.
Yeah. Great track.
So there's some good ones. And
big fan of New Jack Swing is Namdi's. That is a big fan.
I would say that, to my defense, that I hadn't listened to the album in a while, and because I'm listening to it to prepare for the show, I'm spending time to listen, and I was like, oh, these are nice tracks. They make my top 10, but I don't love them as much as my top 5 or so, which I hit them once and I'm like, yeah. So, but as I said, the 5 tracks, that I couldn't, if I tell you the 5 that I didn't put on there, you'd be surprised. And so yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic album, with respect to Barry.
And Stevie's right in a way, because I know you as a New Jack Swing person. You're an up-tempo guy. So
yeah.
It's interesting.
But as I said, this album, it's some of the ones that really, it's like Jodeci's Forever My Lady album. It's half of it is New Jack Swing, the other half is R&B. Now, I love the New Jack versions of it, but the R&B ones are the ones that everyone remembers. So if we were rating that, most people would have all the ballads in their top 6. And I think this is what this album was. It was an R&B album with some New Jack, but the R&B songs were the more popular ones and stuff. Yes. Anyway, VJ, what's number 9 for you?
My number 9 is a Kennard Parker track. Love his production. Love what he's done with Intro. Love what he's done with Soul for Real, other artists. He's very talented producer. It is a mid-tempo. Downtown is my number 9. I love it. This album version is fantastic. Some great remixes of it, and I'm glad it was a single. But this version just chugs along just nicely.
Number 9,
Beautiful
VJ.
song.
Come on.
There's so many good songs. There's just so many good songs. Every song I put ahead of that, they're all good. You should see what I put 11 till 15. You'd be really right.
Marcus says Teddy's remix saved the album. Okay. I know, yeah, Brian may not agree with that. Yeah, okay. Downtown at number 9. Okay, Steve, what's your number 9?
So, in the comments, someone remind me, I'm sure Brian Alexander Morgan, I could be wrong here, because I do feel like some of the ballads on here, because he said in that interview he wanted to do something that sounded different. I feel like some of the ballads, they hold on to the 80s, some of the sound. They hold on too much to the 80s. There's a group from about 87, 88, I think they're called Cash DeVoe, very obscure. I think they're on Reprise. I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely.
I'm sure
brilliant.
Brian Alexander Morgan produced some of the tracks on that album. I could be wrong though. I need to get the CD out and look at it. But like I said, I do feel that some of the ballads kind of linger from the 80s. Some of the sound. It's not a bad thing though, because we all love 80s R&B sounds. But anyway, number 9, and I agree what you said about Anything, VJ. I wasn't at the time when the Anything remix dropped, because it had club appeal, and I bought the 12. I was like, yeah, I've got this new fresh seal 12, the brand new hot remix of Anything. But I quickly tired of that mix.
Oh, is it like it's like that, y'all? It's like that,
yeah, the old school Sugar Hill, that big Sugar Hill sample. I thought it sounded, it had all the bells and whistles on it, and I was like, yeah, what a remix. But I quickly tired of that. And going back to this album now and hearing the album mix, it's like, whoa. So the album mix has made number 9 for me, but I do like that mix now. It seems to, sounds a lot better for me.
Fantastic track.
Yeah. Okay.
Cachette de voix is, and it's very French.
Yeah, that's big mics with the call out there. Now we're getting into some challenging topics. I'm surprised that this is only at number 8 for me.
Marco Crawford. Sorry, Marco Crawford. Look at that. The ballads were decent, but the up tempos were trash.
What are you talking about, Marco?
He's the Simon Cowell of the communication.
Troll. He's our number 1 troll on this podcast.
Marco is the Simon Cowell of the X Factor or the Voice or the American Idol. So, number 8 for me. I'm surprised it's here because when I look at the video, I can remember being in university out in Alabama and watching this on BET, and so I watched this, I listened to it, and it just takes me back. And I asked Jay King once about, because Brian Alexander Morgan was signed to his label. He was there when he met what's her name now? Is this Shantae Moore? And where he was inspired to write Weak. And Jay King, and for those who can't remember, Jay King was Jay King of Jealousy, Club Nouveau. Yeah, Club Nouveau. And he says, look, Brian is probably one of the most talented, and he had the Foster McLaren all in the campus. So he says Brian was probably one of the most amazing writers and producers, but one of the things he struggled with was that confidence. So, and you can almost tell when you listen and watch the video of You're Always on My Mind. Brian's writing all the words, both his words and Coco's words. He's producing it, but you can see that he can't look in the camera. You can see he's nervous. You can see, he's delivering his vocals, and he wanted to be a solo artist, but he realized, man, it's a lot more work than just sitting, writing, and producing. So You're Always on My Mind brings back a lot of memories from my university days, and that's at number 8 for me. You're Always on My Mind, featuring Brian Alexander Morgan. I like the ballad. I love the interchange with Coco and stuff. I wonder if I would have loved it to see him singing it with Lily. Just something different, just so that we had just a different texture of the vocals. But anyway, number 8 for me. Hey, River Mandel.
Nice. My number 8 is produced by Supreme King. He did some fantastic remixes for Right Here. Very nice. This particular song was sampled by what's it called? Nice and Smooth. They did a song called Sex, 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 sampled in 4 songs, including that one. And it's Black Pudding. I love it. Great song. It's just the energy of this song, man. It's like, what? It's an R&B album. And this was the thing about that time, because like you had everybody dressed up in like suits prior to this, or everybody dressed like ladies. And then you had Jodeci come out and they dressed like Rude Boys. And then you had SWV and they dressed in street gear. And this was perfect. You had an R&B album with lovely up-tempo New Jack tracks. You had the ballads, and then you had this, which was a hip-hop track. I love it. And this is my number 8 because it wasn't expected.
Yeah, it didn't make my top 10, and I think because it reminded me of what's the 411, Miriam Grand Puba, and even the Miriam Biggie, and I preferred that. So I'm listening to it and I'm thinking of that track, and I'm thinking, yeah, you know, which do I prefer? So it had an influence in how I viewed the track. Definitely, but but it's good to see that music. No, you know what people are saying about Always on My. I think if you think about the other 7 tracks, there are 15 in there. So if you see the 5 that I didn't even put in, you'd be surprised. So, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
It's all good now. I don't think you can go wrong with this album. You can play any track anywhere. They should all be number 1 because they are. It's such a brilliant album.
But also, as I said, what we're doing is we're reviewing it 35 years or 30 plus years later when it first came out, and then I'm spending the past week constantly listening to it, and that has an impact on how you feel about an album when you're rating it based on today. I can imagine if next month we did this again, I could change this list around. Stevie, what's number 8 for you?
It's interesting what you're saying there. I just remembered, VJ, about that track Black Pudding, and how many after SWV, how many girl groups actually came out, dropped albums that didn't do much, probably 6 months to a year later, that kind of fused. You had R&B tracks and rap tracks. I'm thinking, like, does anyone remember the duo Sweet and Low? Does anyone remember that? It was on Sweet and Low, and then there was a group, one of the girls who do the what. There's a bit of rapping, and you know.
Oh, brilliant! One of the girls.
Yeah. There was all these like girl groups that just didn't quite make it. That kind of fused, like you say, that did all these. You'd buy the album, you'd get 2 great swing tracks, a good ballad, and the rest of it'd be like, what are all these rap intros? What's going on here? These crazy, like, you know. But yeah.
Escape had a hip hop element to their sound. They had a rap element to their sound as well. It was a little bit edgier. And who was that? Big Mike's asked who the rapper was. I think it was Supreme King, the same guy that produced Black Pudding. I think he did the rap on that song.
Yeah. M Max says Always on My Mind was as good as Make It Last Forever. Is that a red card offense?
Listen, it's a good song. You're Always on My Mind is a great song, and it just happens to be my number 8. You know, it's pretty.
Yours is okay.
Yeah.
You know what I compare that to? It's like comparing Superman 1 with Superman 3. So if Make It Last Forever is Superman 1, it's fantastic. Make It Last Forever. Everybody loves Superman 3, and that's Always on My Mind. It's great, but it ain't Superman 1. You know what I mean? It's like you love it, but you love it for different reasons.
Yeah. Okay, so Stevie, yours number 8 was.
I preferred the remixes of You're Always on My Mind. I mean, like you say, You're Always on My Mind. The album mix has got like a candle in the air. It's got your candle. You're always on my mind.
Yeah.
Get your candle out. got an 80s ballad, big ballad feel to it. I mean, it's a lovely track. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
definitely. I love the interaction between the two of them.
It's a top 10 track. I mean, it's a top 5 for some people. Might even be number 1.
Yeah,
but that
what's the
remix
great
might drop
when
that
that
number
beat
1. I
kicks in,
understand. You know,
that beat, the way it comes in, like the way that beat comes in on that remix,
yes,
it's spread out a bit, and it comes in, and you're thinking it's fun. It's just different. It just sounded incredible, and I'm with you on that. Fantastic remix.
So for me, I don't know who the producer is for my number 7.
Which was your favorite Superman, by the way?
It will always have to.
Number 2. Yeah, I was
Oh,
going to
2.
say 2. 2 was amazing. With the free baddies coming in.
So if Make It Last Forever was Superman 1, You're Always on My Mind was Superman 3. Number 2 was Billie Jean. That's how Superman 2 was. You can't compare it. It's like next level. Everybody just stop talking. It's done. Superman 2 was brilliant.
Yeah. Number 7 for me is where is it here? I've lost it on my sheet here. Okay. Number 7 for me is a ballad, which I preferred to It's Always on My Mind, but I probably only ranked it listened to this album 10 times over the past week. So a lot of this is just what song stays out to me. And actually, I'm surprised this didn't come out as a single. It's the title song of the album. It's About Time. And most of the tracks that were released were from Brian Alexander Morgan, but there was something about this ballad that I thought really should have captured something about the ladies, and I wish they'd released it as a single.
Great song, man. Great song.
Yeah, I
think it's the production. Like I say, I really think it's to do with the production. Sounds a bit
like Donald D. And Donald D used to work with Ice-T. So Donald D. Bowden. So it was so random to see him credited on a down tempo track on this after he had done things like Black and Decker with Ice-T. If you know that song, it's yeah.
Oh, okay. It's About Time. Yeah, I mean, I listened to it and as I said, if I'm playing it, I'm singing along with the melodies and everything. So it feels a lot, and maybe as I said, because I hadn't listened to it in a long time, when I'm listening to it as a new and a fresh, it lasts a little bit longer to me right now. So that's why I picked it at number 7. Yes.
What was your number 7?
It's About Time.
Great.
The title track, yeah. Yes. Okay. What about you, VJ?
Wow. My number 7 is an up-tempo, another Brian Alexander Morgan track. It is, I think you're going to like it. It's just so good. It's so good. It's so good.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, there was a song that sampled the Gap Band's Outstanding that sounded like, what song was
Yearning
that?
for Your Love. There's a Gap Band sample on You're Always on My Mind.
No. There's a track that when you listen to it, you can hear the sort of outstanding. I'll listen to it as we go around. Stevie's next.
Number 7. Again, it's one where I preferred the remixes to the album version, but it's a great song. Weak is at number 7 for me, surprisingly. I know there's a big track for many of you out there, but like I say, the remixes. I played the remixes a lot more than I did the album version, but again, it's a great slow jam. Get your candle out. Get your candle out.
I mean, they've got 2 signature songs. There's either "Weak Rain" and "Human Nature" remix. But yeah, definitely. Okay, so number 6 for me. I actually had to. Of probably the original version of Right Here. I don't even know what's their first single that came out. Was that their first single?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was their first single. And actually that was definitely a good sort of because they had the swag, they had the excitement. Yeah, August of 2020 of 92. So I've lost you guys. So to me that was it was definitely one of the songs that I really appreciated. And of course, we've got the remixes and everything, and that's we'll talk about those later. But the original version, I thought really was definitely worthy of my top six. Really liked the whole vibe of that and the excitement of that too. Yeah, right here at number six.
Okay.
Hey, Ezekiel, what's up? They did think you're gonna like it in the live thing. Okay, and I would have thought
I'm sure I had a fox then. Sure I had a fox then. Anyway, carry on.
that's what
And
I need. Okay, go ahead, VJ. Number six.
I just wanted to say, Marco thinks we're all high, but I'll leave that at that. My number six is another Brian Alexander Morgan track, and I love this version of it. We already talked about the remix, and it's "You're Always on My Mind." Brian Alexander Morgan, fantastic. Samples the Gap Band's "Yearning for Your Love." It's been sampled in 18 songs. Brilliant. I love it. But that remix was very special. And I thought we were done with all the songs. You had, Right Here, I'm So Into You, everything else that came out before that. When You're Always on My Mind came out, I was surprised that album was still going, because that remix was just very special.
Which remix, sorry, VJ, you talking about?
You're Always on My Mind.
What did the one that sampled Outstanding, or
the one where the beats, I don't know the name of the mix. It's the one where it's the beat is, it comes in, it seems like it's coming in very slowly. It's coming in slower than it should.
Right, yeah.
That mix.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's yours on my mind. That was it. No. Yeah, just that's the it does sample it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Okay, so about you, Steve? What's number six for you?
I really wanted this track to go in my top five, but I realised my top five was crammed with up tempos anyway, and I had to have a slow jam in my top five because they were big. But Think You're Gonna Like It made number six. I wish it was in the top five, but what a track! Think You're Gonna
Brilliant.
Like It.
Fantastic.
I think it's the right space for that number six. I think I've got that right. I think that's where you should put that track. Think You're Gonna Like It. A bigger track to come.
It's so good. It's a brilliant song.
Just sets my top five up very nicely.
VJ, what was your number seven?
Think You're Gonna Like It.
Think You're Gonna Like It. Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Fantastic.
So number five. So the top five.
So it's in all our top tens anyway. Namdi had it at what? What number did you have it at? Was it?
So I had Think I Gotta Love It at number 9.
Yeah.
I think anyone being a jerk and calling out right here will get into this. So I think at number 9, numbers 5 for me. I really let me see. Let me go back to this. Yeah. So this is. I think people. I guess if you've been tuning, if you come in each week, you probably know that I'm a sucker for ballads, and sometimes there's the production around this really spoke to me, and I did like the difference between who wrote this. I'm trying to hold on. I said that's what I need. Actually, okay, I didn't realize it was Brian that did this. That's what I need. I just loved the ballads. I love the song. I love the structure. I love the
wow.
I love the production on that track.
I love that you've chosen that so high. I love it. I love it. Cool,
it's the I think, man, this should have been a single. And as I said, would I prefer that single to the Always on My Mind? I probably would have, because I think the Always on My Mind had an element of being an older track doing it, and because it sampled the Gap Band stuff. I know it was fresh and different, but that's what I need. Goodness, I just love I love the track. Yeah, so that's number 5 for me. Lots of hidden gems that didn't get released, album cuts. In fact, I need to listen, because Coco, when she gave her top 5 favorite songs, it was never none of the hits, but I didn't really know most of the album. So she was naming songs. I'm like, oh, okay, okay. So I'm gonna now look back at that interview and see which of the songs she put out there. But that's that. I love that vibe of that's what I need. Yeah, VJ, what's your number 5?
Just before that, Kev the Chef has said the perfect sentence. That is exactly how I feel about this album. It is impossible to rank this album. It's impossible. So Kev, I agree with you. Number 5 is another Brian Alexander Morgan track. It was the first single. It samples The Headhunters featuring the Pointer Sisters. God Made Me Funky from 1975. It's been sampled in one song, but it required a remix for it to become really popular. So my number 5 is the original version of Right Here. Absolute stunner. There is nothing wrong with that version at all. Proper Bam Jam production, solid, proper hard tune. Yeah, that's my number 5.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it was a good introduction, and I think even though the remix made took them to top made them a big band. I think we could have just appreciated it nonetheless with the album version. Of course, as I said, the remix took a different call, but yeah, I would have appreciated them without that. Anyway, Stevie, number
There's
5
just
for
something
you.
very, very calming about, you get a cassette tape and you just slide the cassette out like this, and then you just slide it back in, and then
You're so
close
strange.
the case. Very
Close, yeah.
slide it out and then slide it back in, and
Strange man.
you get the cover out
I
like
don't
this. And you know what? We're gonna, the price of tapes now, VJ, are gonna get asked because of us. They're gonna get asked. They're gonna get astronomical.
They're gonna get high because you started collecting. Now they're gonna know Stevie's on it, man. It's gotta go up from one.
You know what? I do have a box somewhere. I don't know what I've done with the box, but it's got tapes in it. I did buy some cassette singles back then, and I don't know where the box is, but I've got a box full somewhere. I did, and then I just stopped buying them. I don't know why, for years. But anyway, number 5. Yeah, VJ, I agree with you. Right, here's the album mix. It's a powerful mix, that the way it chugs
So
along.
good.
It's like a like an engine, a roaring engine, that mix, isn't it? But what a great mix. I wish it was higher. I wish it was higher.
Well, I had a number
top 5 actually.
There was that song Right Here, and songs like Portrait, Here We Go Again, and Honey Dip, and they were from people that we hadn't really heard of before. And there were a string of phenomenally talented producers up and coming at the time. And I think Bam Jam was one, Brian Alexander Morgan, and Michelangelo Salisbury. Seriously, next level, man.
Great production.
I just got a message from Lily thanking me for the birthday message. So
yes, many happy returns to Miss Lily. Many happy birthday.
So Lily turned 52 2 days ago, and just in the middle of our show, she sends me a message thanking me for the birthday wishes. So
let's not forget, on a bit of a sad note, J. Ross the Boss, who did a lot for soul music, who passed away a few months back. It would have been his birthday today, so we don't forget you, sir.
Yes.
And any of your family members that might be watching.
Yes. So for those who don't know, J. Ross was, as Stevie said, he was a music promoter. He was responsible for connecting me with Jackie McGee, who's now like a sister to me. Nikki Howard, Trey Loren. Countless of so many. He'll promote their. He'll promote their music, and I'll say, can I interview them? And he'll just get in touch with them and stuff. So yes, happy belated birthday. Yes, so J. Ross. Okay, so Stevie, your number 5 right here, and I had it at number 6. So we all had it in and around the same place. Number 4 for me was a song that I never understood what it meant until recently, and because I remember when SWV was sitting with Donnie Simpson, he said, how come, what's you guys are supposed to be church girls? why are you singing that about this? And they were like, yeah, I don't know what, we didn't know what it meant when when we were recording it. And then Coke and then Lily says, yeah, we knew what it was. We just didn't know how to say it we didn't know how to say it. But I loved Downtown was a proper 90s. At this moment in time, it was, Downtown was like Knocking the Boots. It was like some of the stuff R. Kelly was doing, like Honey Love. It just had that type of R&B type of vibe. And even though, as I said, I didn't know what they were singing about at the time, I just loved the whole vibe. I honestly thought, because I moved to the US in '92, I actually thought they're talking about going down to one of the big cities. And it took me a while to understand what they're singing about. So I do have to listen to it one ear to and remember the innocent days of when I was just assuming it was about going to watch a sporting event downtown. But that's number 4 for me, Downtown.
No,
Okay.
I love
Yeah, and that's the God honest truth. Is the God honest truth. I had no idea what they were singing about. It's just hip hop.
I love your,
I
I
can't
love
hear
what you
lyrics.
just said. I love it. I love it.
It's like hip hop. I can barely, I love the flow over the beat, but I have no idea what some of the words they're singing. So at the same time with songs, I may listen to a song and not really dive into it, like that. So
Very
yeah. Hey, a man named Hawk. We haven't seen D Hawk. How you doing, man? Yes. I think those boundaries only lyrics could get was, yeah. All right, VJ, what about you?
My number 4 has been sampled more than any other song by SWV off the first album. 32 times it's been sampled. It's a down tempo. It's produced by Brian Alexander Morgan, and it rhymes with beak. My number 4 is Weak. I love it. It's brilliant, fantastic production. Love it, and yeah, that's my number 4.
Okay. What does, I don't know what Red Light Special, if there's something behind that. I didn't even, because the Babyface track, I didn't think he'll be very salty in his
So,
writing.
what does red light mean? Red light, doesn't that indicate?
Are we talking about Red Light District?
Well, no, red light is a red light when it's outside a window. It implies
Yeah.
that there is something else going on behind that window. So that's what a red light special would mean. So it's probably something to do with that.
Okay, look at me. And so, how many years later am I just finding out? Because I couldn't, T-Boss sings very, so I have no idea what she's saying, and I don't.
It sounds
bring
like
out
you've
the
lived
lyric
in
book
it.
and
For someone who's travelled a lot, Namdi, you've lived a very sheltered life, sir. Very, very sheltered life. I envy you, mate.
It's
I
not
really
like I
do.
bring
I
out
envy you.
It's not as if I bring
Yeah.
out the lyric book and like reading every word. It's like we were doing the Janet, and she was singing, "If I Was If." I had no idea what she was saying, so all I'm hearing is so. It's the same way with most of these songs. So of course now I'm just like, well, Red Light Special. Babyface is a lover. He doesn't write sultry songs. So I need to listen to the song and read the lyrics and understand what they were singing
I
about.
tell you what, some of the people listening in today, they're a bit dark, man. Today, man, they're saying you need to go to Amsterdam. I don't know what you're talking about there, Colin. I don't have any idea, man. Stop all of this.
Okay, Stevie.
My number 4 is probably the best New Jack Swing track on the album. Gosh, I think I had it number 2. I don't know why I pushed it to number 4. Maybe because I know the song before it is a lot stronger. But Give It To Me, it's by far the best New Jack track on the album, and it's in my top 5. It had to get in my top 5 at any cost.
Wow, that high up.
But absolute banging swing track. Great track. I forgot how good that was, actually, because I've not listened to the album for years. I forgot how good that was.
I'm surprised you put that so low. I'm just
surprised.
surprised.
Fourth high.
I know, but I thought in my head, I think that's a Stevie song. It felt like a Stevie song.
It is. It is, but I guess the other three are pretty.
It's a difficult
Pretty
one.
strong.
It's a tough album.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough album, but I think we always remember when we do these episodes, we're not slamming any of the songs. We're just saying 10 songs, 15 songs. Let's just pick our
Do you know?
top
Do you know
10
what?
and
Do you
put
know
them
what I
in
think
order.
it is? Maybe because I never heard that track in a club. Where some of the other tracks that I'm going to get onto shortly, I
Yeah.
heard them in clubs and they've just got their memories. But unfortunately, give it to me, the DJs didn't drop that jam in a club, which is a shame. It's
No,
a shame.
yeah, I mean, yeah, and I think that makes a massive difference between when you're rating them. So if we're going to our top three. When I look at my number three, it would have probably been a little bit higher had I not received. Um, Stevie sent me the remixes of all these singles, and I think when you listen to 10 different versions of the same song, you can then start to say, yeah, I don't want to listen to this anymore. So, but even though personally one of my top three of top five remixes ever is from this track, I do have to give the album version its props. And because of the key change, the singing, the background, and that's I'm So Into You. Um, Even though, as I said, I love the Teddy remix with Akil, the especially the extended version of it, and using the talk box. I mean, to me, it's just one of my favorite. But the album version, it was just something that I had to give it a shout out and stuff. And a lot of people will say, actually, yes, the remixes made a difference because the remix of this came out the same time with Baby Be Mine. I think they came out around the same time, and it felt like Teddy was just dominating with with these sounds. And I moved to I was in the UK March of '93, and I remember when Baby Be Mine came out, and I remember when this version came out and stuff. So it was a lot more popular here, the Teddy version, than it was in the States. But I'm So Into You definitely was like, okay, you coming out with most groups come out with a right here, then they'll do a week, but they came out with right here, I'm So Into You. So it was almost like, no, let's just showcase that these girls are street girls, and we're gonna do up tempo plus up tempo before ballads. So up there, always on my sorry, always on mine. I'm So Into You is at number 3 for me.
And
Yes.
for me, just because I have a camcorder in Namdi's place and I see everything that he does, my number 3 is also I'm So produced by Brian Alexander Morgan. It uses 7 samples, including Rufus and Shaka Khan's Sweet Thing, Parliament's theme from The Black Hole from '79, Jocelyn Brown, Somebody Else's Guy from '84, and this is an obvious sample when you hear it now. I just never got it at the time. Peebo Bryson's "I'm So Into You" from '78, and it's been sampled in 16 songs, and it's a brilliant song. And Namdi, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Number 3 is the right place for me as well.
Yes. Okay, so I'm So Into You. Yeah, I mean it's yeah, and I think, as I said, the remixes takes it, but it just what the track was doing at its time. Stevie, what's number 3
Well,
for you?
if we're going to refer, if we're having a game of bingo now, guys, we've reached the full house here at number 3. The full house is "I'm So Into You," and it's interesting because what you said about '93 there, and them 2 remixes. What a time to be alive! I mean,
It was incredible,
what a
wasn't it?
time! Because oh god, the clubbing memories I've got of hearing those remixes and them 12s in a club, and you know the especially the All-Star mix with that rumbling bass sound. And Manchester was just big on bass in clubs. It was big on bass in cars. It was big on bass in pirate radio. that dun, dun, and then the big crunching snare, and oh my! But anyway, it's not about that. It's about the album mix, which it's so 90s. That track, it's just it could be number one. It is a number one R&B track, but unfortunately, it's at number 3 in all our lists. But we all know how good that track is. It's a classic. It's a classic.
And I know we shouldn't be talking about the remix, but can I just share where I heard this for the remix for the first time? There was a club on Burlington Street in London called Samantha's, and that was the spot. And when I heard this remix, I knew that I knew that Teddy was involved. I was just so excited. Then you hear Rex and Effect on it, and you're like, what is going on? And I would think I was having an out-of-body experience at the time, because that was such an incredible feeling, because I'd never heard that remix before. I'd known the original, which is brilliant, but hearing that for the first time it felt very, very special.
I mean, if you put that 12-inch with them mixes on, the All-Star Drop Dance mix and the Teddy's mixes, if you get that 12, was there a better 12-inch 12-inch that year in '93?
There was one better. No, there was one better. I think Intro's Love Thing, Let Me Be the one was better.
That was a great 12.
It was a double A side. You had Love and Let Me Be the one. So but this is right up there. Phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, as I said, we will do an episode on our top 10 favorite remixes, and it'll be interesting just to see what makes them. Okay, so we're getting down to crunch time. So number 2 for me, I think because this song has endured so much, and it's what it's about, and I love the harmonies on it. And I think, to Brian's point, that SWV were known for their harmonies, and how they harmonize in Weak is just phenomenal. And the fact that the song just seems timeless right now. So for me, number 2, I had to put Weak.
Wow.
Good choice.
It's just such a. I love my ballads, but it's a song that it's just really stood the time for me. So I love Weak, and it's not just a Coco song. It's with all of them. It's all of them. You can all hear them part of it as well. Yeah, Ezekiel, we got that right there. Yeah. Wow, Colin had the Yoys on my mind at number 2, and Mac, I'm So Into You at number 2, and Timmy Lee had Downtown at number 2. I wonder, Timmy, did you know what the track was about when you first listened to it? Or just like me, you're just finding out that it wasn't about going to the town center? Hey, Stevie, what's your second one?
Have we done VJs yet?
Oh, sorry, VJ, what's number 2 for you? What? A lot of Black Pudding at number 2. Wow, goodness.
Love it, really like that.
Somebody else sent me a list, and that was their number 1. That was their number 1, and I thought, wow,
Black Pudding.
It's subjective, isn't it? It's like whatever people like.
Yeah.
So my number 2 is produced by Gennard Parker. It's co-produced by Jeff Redd, written by Kenny Green, vocal arrangements by Kenny Green and Jeff Redd. The rap is by MC Maestro. It is an incredible song. I cannot explain how good this song is. This song is Give It to Me is just, it's just so good. It's a very, very, very special song. And
wow, you put
I love
2.
it. I love it. And if my number 1, you'll see what my number 1 is. I think Give It to Me is probably my most listened to song after my number 1. And I love it. It's just fantastic. And it's the first time that Kenny Green and Jeff Redd worked together again after their You Called and Told Me remix. And so interesting.
But Kenny Green, is he credited in there? Because we had Parker and Jeff Redd.
He's a co-producer. So Kenny Green co-wrote it, and he was also in charge of vocal arrangements on that song. So Kenny Green is all over Give It to Me. So the idea of Jeff Red intro and SWV on the same track. It's magic. It has to be number 2.
Buddy and if you guys haven't seen the intro documentary, but Buddy and Coco were dating back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't see Kenny. I didn't realize Kenny was on there because I don't have the CD anymore. So so that's yeah. Okay, Stevie, what's your number 2?
I did originally have Give It To Me at number 2, but I pushed it back for this remix that they repackaged and threw on the album. And again, my memories of this remix. First, I got it on an Import 12 shrink wrap. It was in a generic white cover, and it had the Human Nature mixes on. Next thing you know, there's a bootleg flying around with a Lord Finesse remix on, which I kind of got hold of. And the one that made me cry, I was in tears because I just couldn't get hold of it. There was a UK double pack promotional 12 with all the mixes on of Right Here. And my DJ friend had a copy, and I couldn't get it, and I was nearly in tears. You know, when you want something so bad, and I just couldn't get this double packed. I had to wait for the UK CD single, which had a load of mixes, but still there was this other Teddy extended mix, which there was one mix I didn't have, and it might have been on that. I can't remember what it was on, but anyway, that special moment of hearing that Human Nature remix of Right Here was just. I'll never forget that feeling, and I'm just dying to hear it in a club or asking a DJ, please play that Right Here mix, because it just the hairs on the back of my neck stood up when I heard that. With with Michael Jackson on it and everything. It is at number 2. Again, it should be number 1 really, because it's a special mix, another classic. But number 2, Right Here, Human Nature radio mix, and all my memories of that track is. I'll never forget them.
Stunner. It blew all of our minds, though, didn't it? When that song came out, that remix, we're like, "What is this? Where is
it's the loop? It's the drum loop as well as the Human Nature bit. I'd never heard a drum loop like that before, and the effects they put on it, and just an incredible New Jack drum loop, incredible,
And at the time, all the DJs were talking, saying, "Oh yeah, we know the version that's on the album, we know the one that's played on the radio, but the version you really need to hear is the Demolition mix." And then
there you go, the other mix. It's like I couldn't keep up with them all. Couldn't keep up with them all.
Yeah, and like
he says,
there you go.
There were 24
There
mix.
you go.
Because 23 is just not enough. You have to have a minimum
of 24. Yeah.
Oh goodness! I remember when we had John from Troop, and he says that they had like 10 versions of Attitude, and Teddy was just knocking them out like, okay, let's just try this and try this. Yeah, I think I struggle when there are too many versions of too many remixes, unless they're redoing the whole song, like No Diggity, Billie Jean version. That's a retaking the song. Or I remember getting when Teddy Riley did the remix of Booty Call, and he did the sort of Miami, those types of the song changes, so you're not listening to exactly the same lyric and everything, but you're listening to it almost like a new song. So I don't mind those type of remixes.
Yeah, putting the CD single in and getting ready for an evening of like 8 remixes of Right Here, one after the other.
That was hard.
Yeah.
I actually didn't want to. Yeah,
I remember about. We may have spoken about this before. My apologies if we've spoken about it. But Luther Vandross did a song called "The Nights in Harlem." I think he produced that himself with Marcus Miller, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe by himself. But there was an incredible remix by Rodney Jerkins, and that remix was picking up so much traction on radio. Luther was asked, how do you feel when a remix is so much more popular and so much better than the original? And Luther lost his shit, and he told the interviewer off, and he said, the original is always the original, because that's the basis for which the remix has been made. So we can enjoy, he was saying you can enjoy a remix without disrespecting the original, because without that original, the remix wouldn't have existed. And I thought that was a very commonsensical and fair response by Luther Vandross, in line with what you just said there, Namdi. It's nice to listen to remixes if they're like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but you know, do I prefer the remix version of No One Get Lonely with Janet featuring Blackstreet? Completely different song than the album version, you know, because it has all this sweetness in. You had Chauncey, you have the melody. It's a very I appreciated the original, the remix much than the original, and but of course Teddy, they didn't write the song, they didn't bring the melody, and it's easy to add the layers on top and do this.
And
But there's some songs that completely says, okay, this is what you've written. I'm just gonna take it apart and redo it. And I think my number one is that. But anyway, go ahead, please.
no, what was I going to say? I can't remember what I was going to say now.
Okay.
Old age.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, not a problem. Anyway, so we'll get to number one now. So I'm going to go and list my 15 down to number one. So for me, for number 15, strange, you know, some high numbers for you guys, for a lot of guys, is Black Pudding at number 15 for me.
Wow.
Which might shock a few people. At number 13 was SWV in the House. It was just all over the place. It was just like, well, it was all over the place. At number 13 was We Capella. You know, it was like, I've heard the main one. The taster was just okay. At number 12, it was Anything. I think on the Stevie, you sent me the singles, and it had an extended version. So on the album, it just felt like a little intro. But when you listen to the full song, you can appreciate it. But I think because the remix sounds a little bit up tempo, it felt slow. So, but number 11 for me was Coming Home. That made number 11. So number 10 was Give It to Me. I didn't realize Kenny was part of that. Number 9 was Think You're Gonna Like It. Think I'm Gonna Like It. Number 8 was You're Always on My Mind. Number 7, It's About Time. Number 6 is Right Here, original version. Number 5 is That's What I Need. Number 4 is Downtown. Disclaimer, never knew what the song was about. Number 3 is I'm So Into You. Number 2 is Weak. And I think for the first time, I really had to appreciate the fact that this wasn't a remake. This was a completely new production. It wasn't just about the drums that were added to the track. It was the way that they took they took the sample and just looped it throughout the record, and the way that it just completely different from the original, and that's the Human Nature remix. And the reason why it's number one for me is because, as I said, it wasn't just because we had big track and stuff. I listened to it, and I can hear Teddy's drums, and I know that it was a massive debate during the verses. When it was a debate on whether All Star said he found the actual drums and he took it to Teddy, then Teddy took it, and then you listen to the actual sonics of the drums, and it's very much Future's stuff. You listen to how he got the Michael's vocals in, just used just enough of it and just fed it through. And you know, even the whole sampling of Human Nature throughout it, and it is just an amazing track. Now, of course, if he wanted to, he probably could have just said, "Let's get Tammy Lucas or Bernard Bell. Let's just write a new song, and we just sample Human Nature on it." But I think it was Kenny Ortiz's idea that, like, can we sample something to make this a different track?
Yeah.
If not, I would have had them just reproduce it. But for me, it is a great track. and I won't call it a remix anymore. It's a great production. Just the lyrics were just the same song, what were written, but it's an amazing track. So that is my number, and it's on the album. If it wasn't on the album, I couldn't put a remix on it. But on the album in which we reviewed, it was the track 15, and it's number one for me.
Hold on, one question. If that mix had not been on the album, what would have been your number one?
It would have been Weak.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been Weak. But just because Weak itself is just timeless. But I put the original right here at number 6. So it was I did like the track. But no, I don't like the remixes, but it was on the album, and it was the third. It was listed as their 5th single that came out July of '93. Even though it also came on the Free Willy album, but it took the album to 4 times platinum.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. And the original version of that album, I think I've got the original CD here. So the original version had Anything, and then it ended with the Right Here vibe mix. So it didn't have.
Oh.
So this was the original version of the album. So, that's what it was. And
so they took off the vibe mix and put this one on.
I mean, it makes more sense to have the Human Nature mix than the vibe mix. As good as the George G-Man Kranti remix of Right Here is. And Colin Mills just said something about he couldn't find the credits. Give It To Me vocal on this CD. It says the vocal arrangements are by Kenny Green, so you can check that.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that maybe if you go to Discog, Colin, because that's if you try and look at Wikipedia, I was looking for it and I didn't realize that Kenny Green was on it. VJ, yes, 15 down to 1.
15 is Weak a cappella. Love it. I think it's flawless. You don't need any instrumentation. It's just a solid a cappella, and really showcases Coco's vocals on that. Absolute stunner. 14, SWV in the House, produced by Brian Alexander Morgan. Sample Slick Rick's Lardy Dardy from 85. Number 13, That's What I Need, Brian Alexander Morgan, sampled in 3 songs. Number 12, It's About Time, produced by Donald D. Bowden, also worked with Ice-T. And it samples the Isley Brothers Summer Breeze from 73. It's been sampled in 4 songs. Number 11 is a Michael Brown production. I don't know much about Michael Brown, but I think Coming Home is a fantastic song. And it obviously, to Stevie's Irritation, samples High Fives, I Like the Way. But it just works. I don't know why. Sometimes those cheesy things and obvious samples just work. And I really like that. Number 10 is Anything, Brian Alexander Morgan. Number 9 is Downtown. Number 8 is Black Pudding. 7 is Think You're Gonna Like It. And I the moment this podcast ends, that's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm listening to Think You're Gonna Like It, because I cannot get that song out of my head for the last 20 minutes. That's what's gonna happen. Anyway.
Great hook. It's got a great hook.
Fantastic. Number 6, You're Always on My Mind. The original version, Brian Alexander Morgan, samples Gap Band's Yearning for Your Love, sampled in 18 songs. The original version of Right Here is number 5, Brian Alexander Morgan. Number 4 was Weak, another Bam Jam track. Number 3 was I'm So Into You, Brian Alexander Morgan track. Number 2 was the incredible Give It To Me, and I really, really wanted to put it at number 1. But there was something about number 1, which is the Teddy Riley remix, which features Pharrell Williams of Human Nature, where I had to put it at number 1. It was era defining. There was something just so important about that remix. The moment we heard it, we knew that something had changed. There was a shift. It was an epic remix. And hearing Michael Jackson, Human Nature on that track, we're like, how did they get permission? And then we found out afterwards that Michael just said yes to Teddy because they were buddies or whatever it was. And brilliant. I can't say enough about that song. It obviously samples MJ, Human Nature, and I think my phone is listening to what I'm saying, and it started playing that song. I can hear it, you can't. Right Here, Human Nature, that particular version was sampled in 16 songs, if you're interested. That's my lot.
Yeah, there's the I was listening to Chris Brown had a song that samples I can Chris Brown, somebody would tell me he has a song that samples Right Here Human Nature remix. The problem was that it had 20 writers because
What?
of course Human Nature itself has its own writers.
Yeah.
Then Right Here had his own writers and stuff, and then Chris and 5 other guys wrote the lyrics to the track. So somebody would know it. So it was one of those things where he it was a big hit, but no one got paid because because it was because it was split between She Ain't You. Yeah, She Ain't You. It's a beautiful track, but no one got paid because it has like 20 writers or so credited in writing that, because you're sampling, and he uses the Teddy beats, the drums. Yeah, it's a strange one. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I thought Stevie was going to put it in his number one, and would have had a full.
One last thing I'm going to say. Just wanted to say thank you to Benson for saying that I'm the Patrick Moore of New Jack Swing information. That's a very nice compliment. I've never been compared to Patrick Moore. That's an absolute honor. So thank you very much, Patrick
Moore. Benson, when we did the Michael Jackson birthday, he came on and he spoke about what it was like going to the Dangerous tour, and when Michael pops out and seeing, I think he went to Australia. Michael pops out, and we see the videos of people fainting. His sister was one of 14,000 people who couldn't watch the rest of the show because they had passed out, and they had to. He said they literally carried. So you see the videos, and you think, okay, it's fake. His sister missed the entire show because she passed out. So it was really fascinating when he came on to tell us about, all the Michael Jackson stuff. So it's poignant that we're talking about Michael's influence on that track, and it's not as I said, what I have to respect Teddy for producing this track, not remixing it, is how he got that element of what I'm sure Michael listened to it and thought, wow, look how you just got my voice in with the singing stuff. Yes, go ahead, Stevie.
Number 15 is The Week a cappella, which I never listened to at the time, I'll be honest. Number 14 is SWV, In the House. I think at the time there was a lot of East Coast hip hop going on and Jeep beats, so it kind of makes sense why they did a track like that. Number 13 again, Black Pudding, another kind of East Coast Jeep beat sounding rap. Number 12, It's About Time. The title, I didn't listen to it at the time, but listen to it now, it's very strong, very, very strong. I just didn't give it the credit it deserves and the listens it deserves. And similar to number 11, That's What I Need. Again, I just didn't listen enough to it back then because it was a ballad and it did have an 80s fit. I don't know, but I think it's great. It sounds great now. Number 10, Coming Home. As I said earlier, great chorus. I just felt that the sample was a bit lazy. Number 9, Anything. Number 8, You're Always on My Mind. Number 7, Weak. Number 6, Think You're Gonna Like It. Number 5, Right Here, the album mix. Number 4, Give It to Me. Number 3, I'm So Into You. Number 2, Right Here, the Human Nature, which should have been. I mean, I'm thinking, how dare I put this track at number 1 above that because of everything you've just said. But I also look back to the podcast we did of our top 10 overall SWV tracks. I recall my number 1, and I went back and listened to it again and thought, it's right. I can't move it. It's staying at number 1. And I think the reason why it's made me, and it's debatable this, but I think vocally this is the best, the strongest track on the album. I think even though the subject matter is very, very sexual, I think they go so deep vocally on it. Some of Lee's, oh gosh, the way it just hits me, just gets me there. And I think that's why there's a line and they hit it so deep that oh, it knocks me out. So Downtown, believe it or not, I think it's a very 90s sounding track. It's got the Jeep beat in it, but I love the track. I just think it's amazing. And it's made my number one.
Fantastic choice.
But
Stevie,
the
there's nothing
vocal,
wrong with that as number one.
listen to it again and listen how deep they go vocally. Oh gosh, they really. I think it's the best vocal on the album. But that's my opinion anyway. And that's my number one, Downtown.
Yeah, I had a number 4. So it was definitely a song that, as an innocent little boy, I loved listening to.
The remixes were heavy as well, with some heavy Jeep beat mixes.
Fantastic. The remixes were insane. Those jazzy mixes. The jazzy mixes. Oh my God, how good are those? God, they're so good. Oh man,
I want to go downtown. I'm trying to think. It's not on the bridge, because on the bridge they make all them sounds, but there's just these 2-line lyrics that just hit me so hard. It's like I'm floored by it. Absolutely floored. Yes, number one, Mr. Greystone. Go and listen to it again. Listen to the vocal.
Fantastic choice. And I think everybody's choices have been fantastic. Mac put it as put Weak as number one. Great choice. And there's no bad tracks on this album. That's
no.
Yeah, and that's the thing about for the last 5+ years, that everything is a celebration. Even the polls, it's like, which is your favorite, not which is the best. Which is your favorite? It's always about celebrating all the tracks, celebrating the album. Now, you know, I know you've got your combined top 10, VJ, but if you guys were to rate this album out of 10, Stevie, what would you give it out of 10?
I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay. VJ.
I can't rank it out of 10. I have to do it as percentage if I can, and I have to give it 85%, because I don't think it's not quite a 9. 8 is too low, so 85%, something 85, 86%. I think it's a brilliant album. It's so good.
85%.
That's 8.5 out of 10.
Come on, VJ. Easily a 90% album.
It's 5% in it, man. It's 5%. It's half a month. What the hell, man? And what about you, Nam?
That's 15%. What 15% can you knock off this album that ain't working?
I don't know. I mean, if you had I don't know how you could have improved it, but it's I don't know. 85, 86%, something like that.
I think majority are giving it a 9 out of 10, and I would say that I didn't appreciate the album then as much as I did now.
Yeah.
I would say that, funny enough, for a long time, Marco gives us a 7. For a long time, Release Some Tension was actually my favorite SWV album, and that was just because it came out with all the rappers, and I bought that album. I was like, man, this is great. And Lily hated the album, and she said it was SWV featuring all these rappers. But going through this album today, over this past week and a half, I would give it a 9, because it surprised me how many good timeless songs on the
That's
album.
it. That's the sentence.
And it's
That's
easy
to timeless songs. Yeah. That's what this album is.
Yeah.
So,
we're talking about, That's What I Need and Give It to Me. I mean, it's proper New Jack stuff. So. Okay,
got a few 70%ers in here. 70%.
No, it's not a few. It is Marco.
You're spoiled. You guys out there spoiled.
We should call Marco Simon Cowell.
You're spoiled, that's why. You're just too spoiled.
No, but anybody that's given it 7 out of 10, like, what other albums were you listening to which were on this level?
Where's this all the 30% you're dropping off?
What's the combined ones?
Okay, so the combined totals, and Stevie, I think you're going to find it interesting from 15 to 7, because your 15 to 7 is almost identical to this. Wow. Something happens between 6 and 1, but I don't know. We'll go into that in a minute. Number 15, Weak, a cappella. Number 14, SWV in the House. Number 13, Coming Home. Number 12, It's About Time. Number 11, Black Pudding. Number 10, That's What I Need. And just in case anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, what list I'm talking about right now, this is the combined list where people had submitted lists, and then we did an aggregated average to see what the collective top 10 or 15 was. Number 10, That's What I Need. Number 9, You're Always on My Mind. Number 8, Think You're Gonna Like It. Can't wait to listen to it. So excited about that. 7, Weak. 6, Always on My Mind. 5, Downtown. Sorry, Stevie.
No, it's
4,
top 5. I'm happy with that.
well, no, it's a great song. Great song. It made my top 5. It made Namdi's top 5 as well. Right Here, the original version was number 4. Number 3, and this surprised me, but okay. Right Here, Human Nature Remix was number 3. Number 2 was I'm So Into You. And a shocker, not a shocker really, because the song is so damn good. Number 1 was Give It To Me. So
Wow.
that is your lot from everybody.
Wow. I'm shocked. I am surprised at that. I'm happy, but I'm also very, I thought one of the singles would have made number 1, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Give It To Me should have been a single.
Wow.
It should have been a single all day long.
Yeah. But I do wonder if, as a label, they recognized that, you know, New Jack was fading, especially what happened to Jodeci, and they focused on maybe the Jodeci effect, you know.
No, they got the. I think they got the singles right. They got the singles right. To be fair, can't argue with them singles and the mixes. Like I say, we spoiled. Got so spoiled with all these singles.
So, the question we had here from what are your thoughts about this?
The Damien Hall single?
Yes.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's about time. And I think I love the idea that Damien is creating new music again. And he's got his passion back, because he's a really good singer. I mean, and I think his vocals are still intact. So yeah, I'm excited by it.
Yes, it's okay. I mean, but I think, you know, just as we wrap up, I think what I appreciate is the fact that artists are releasing new music, and not just relying on their catalog. So that's definitely a good thing. So, guys, it's been definitely a great
one more
episode.
Thing, Namdi. Are we going to do the Zan album next week? Not next Sunday, but in the week. Can we fit it in?
Yes. So yes. I have to look. Yes, I have to look at some of the dates and stuff.
So the viewers, we may be back midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Thursday, doing the Zan album. VJ, if you're around, you might be able to jump on that one.
What if you do it on Thursday? I can do it, or Tuesday.
Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing I just wanted to say about the Damien Hall single. It's produced by Damien Hall and Jay Hot. And Jay Hot, for those that don't know, is Walter Mucho Scott from Basic Black and 911's nephew. So he's phenomenally talented. And what he does on the voice box vocoder is just very, very talented boy. So talented. Yeah, that's it.
There's definitely. We're about to drop off, but as we were on, I just got alerted to some news that Drew Hill were being given. They were going to name a street after them in Baltimore, but Woody's name was not going to be on the plaque. And the excuse that Drew Hill is saying is that we've reached out to Woody to see if he wanted to be on it, but he hasn't. So instead, they were going to add in. They were going to add in the other guys who sort of the other people who joined after Woody left, and lots of people aren't happy about that. So
same old group battles, rearing its ugly head again.
Yeah, I think that's bad. Woody was a big part of Drew Hill. Woody was a massive part of Drew Hill. You can't have.
Woody started Drew Hill with Cisco. He and Cisco met in high school. He got Cisco wasn't the out, and he moved out the group for a couple of months, and then by the time he came back, he got marginalized, and so that's the
None of us
story
are getting
right
any
there.
younger, you know. None of us are getting any younger. All these
Yeah.
grudges, and just let it go. Let it go, and just
be happy, man. Be happy. Everybody just give each other a hug or something, man. Forget about all this nonsense.
Yes, yes, you would think so. So what they've done is they've put Cisco Way, Nokia's Way, Jazz's Way, and Scola's Way, and they didn't put Woody's Way. And I think what people are upset about is the fact that even though Woody hasn't responded, you should still put his name out. He was the founder of the group, and you're bringing in somebody else in.
Oh,
so
there's one guy I want to shout. I don't know if he joined us tonight, but I'm sure you'll watch back. And I think you'll like this one, guys. But let's give a big shout to a guy who is our best troll on social media. Keeps tagging us. Malik Jefferson.
Malik,
big up to you, man. Big up to you. We see you, man. We see you.
Malik. I had to give a shout out to a few people as well. I forgot about that. You've just reminded me. Mandy, Paul C, Zach, Brandon, Jeff Red, Bryant Reed, Lele Lyons, and Bull Williams. Thanks everybody to reaching out. And yeah, that's it.
What's next Sunday? What's happening next Sunday, Namdi?
Yeah, I can't remember, but we will. But on the 2nd of August, Andrew Knight will join us as we do our battle of our producers. So we've got Devontae Swing versus Jermaine Dupri versus Dallas Austin. Top 15 tracks rated, ranked by those producers.
How exciting is that,
So
man? How exciting is that? It's going to be great. I can't wait. It's going to be brilliant.
Yes, 2nd of August. So we'll be back for that. So guys, it's been great, and we'll keep you posted with stuff. So see you next week. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that kind of.
And somewhere in between us, or even loving us, on which I did miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No. Okay.
They don't understand what Jonas Boys and men all
Play it.
I mean, I love all different